Okay? Hello? Okay. So I'm making this video as a backup video because I don't think my first video actually went through. Yet another technical YouTube problem, but whatever. So what I said was I'm making this video because I want to talk about this book, which is called Power Knowledge by Michael Foucault. Before I talk about this book, let me just give you some... I know I haven't been making a lot of videos lately because I've been busy with a lot of things. I entered a number of piano competitions recently. Last week I actually won second place in the piano competition. And I've got another competition in about 3.5 hours. So I'm going to start practicing on that after this video. So it's that. Grad school. I didn't get into the school I wanted to get into in Toronto, so I was very upset about that. But I did get into a school in Louisiana, LSU, Louisiana State University, and I'm looking forward to it because I think it might be a really good opportunity for me to really begin my sociology career. But I'm going to go visit the faculty and everybody very soon so I can talk to them about everything. So there's that, which at the very least means I'm moving out of this small town I live in. I've been living in for the last 2 years, and it's, I can't lie. Like, the thought of me being here, like, basically, school doesn't even start till September, but basically, I will be out of here probably either June 1st or the middle of May, because I can't take living here anymore. It just, there's nothing here. There's nothing here. It's retardedly boring. Okay, so that's that. So I want to talk about this book. I just finished it, and it took me quite a while to finish it, but also because I was busy painting. But this book, Power Knowledge by Michael Foucault, analyzes Foucault's concept called power knowledge. And it really examines the relationship between power and knowledge. Knowledge is ultimately structured by power. What is considered important to know is because some power entity deems it being important to know. So we can think of an example of this. So I found that most people know more about America's next top model, whatever, than they know about any Native American tribe that ever existed in their area. Okay, now why is this the case? Because America's next top hot model is on TV. These celebrities, well, they put celebrities on this show. These celebrities work on this TV show, which is owned by a corporation, who then makes an economic profit the more people who are aware of this product. So ultimately, these corporations deem it important to know more about America's next top hot model or survivor than about Native American tribes. So again, power or knowledge is structured by the power structure. And then of course Foucault goes into much more detail about this, like explaining how, you know, power is often seen only in negative terms, but really power should be viewed in positive terms as well. You know, I guess we all on some level maybe gain something from watching America's Next Top Hot Model. I've learned how to pose. I've learned how to I've learned things from watching that show. And there's also ultimately resistance to all this. You know, we're being forced to watch this stuff on TV, so ultimately that leads to resistance to these kinds of power structures as well. And it's all through the interplay of this is how power ultimately reshapes itself, strategizes itself, and how this works. But I feel like this is very important stuff for everyone to be reading right now, because, you know, if people are saying that the global economic crisis could result in revolutions taking place in countries, and according to one report I read, we're number like 14 on that list, then this is really critical stuff that I think we all should be reading and discussing, because it could be very much shaping the future of what happens in our society. The unfortunate thing is, like I just alluded to, is most people in our society don't read books, okay, like 75%. And then most people, you know, are not going to read this. You know, most people are watching America's Next Top Hot Model. I don't even know the title of that show. So I want to encourage everyone to read this book, because this is one of the easier books by Foucault, because it's just him talking with an interviewer instead of him actually writing. I read The Order of Things recently, and I've got a book on the history of sexuality and Discipline and Punish, which I'm gonna work on. But I can promise you, this book is infinitely easier than any of those books are, and it's a great way to get started. It's just dialogues. When I first started reading Chomsky, the first book I read was a book of interviews. I think it's called The Essential Chomsky. That's a great way to get started on this stuff, because you get the information, you get it in nice, easier to read bites of information. It's a lot easier than reading a 200-page book that's very detailed. So I highly recommend everyone reading this book, because I really feel like it's very important stuff that we should all be talking about right now. Okay, so there's that. Now what else? Oh, one more thing. I made another painting as well. This painting thing is working out pretty well for me. I'm actually thinking about getting enough paintings together that I could have an exhibit, and I can see if I can make some money doing it. But so to say thank you for my parents for letting me stay at their place, I made a portrait of them. Now they chose the photo that I turned into a painting here. Had it been me choosing a photo, it would have been some amazing thing, like, out in the desert pointing at the sky, and then Dad would be jumping across like a lawn, and there'd be all these dynamic poses and all that, but they weren't interested in that. So so I did a portrait. So this came out pretty well. I got the shading. This is the first time. This is the fourth. 1, 2, 3. This is the fourth painting I've ever done in my entire life. Okay, so that's not bad. It's kind of dark. It's really dark in this room, so you can't see the detail behind the painting here. Does that help? Okay. So I did a really good job of scumbling throughout this whole thing. This is the first painting I've ever done where I used a great deal of scumbling. Scumbling is where you take little bits of paint and you blend it together on the canvas itself. You have to move your brush really quickly back and forth so all the colors blend together. It's really important for making faces. So that came out pretty well, eh? I got the shirt really well. I don't know if you can see it in detail. The shirt, the entire painting, this entire painting has almost no black in it whatsoever. So I thought it was really funny. I painted black people, but I didn't use any black to do it. This painting has almost no black in it whatsoever. Actually, the dark colors, some of the dark colors you see are actually blue and red that made this very nice dark purple color that worked out really well. And I like patterns as well, so I did my mom's dress in all these little swirls. Here we go, swirls all over herself here. That worked out really well. And then I painted the background this nice. It was actually a cafe brown, but when I added white to it, these little elements of purple came out with the brown. Fantastic. So I painted these swirls all over it. And I actually did the whole thing first with modeling clay, and then I went over it with acrylic so that you get these nice lines and all these. I mean, I don't know if you can see them in really great detail, but it looks like an oil painting if you do it that way. So it's a really good model for what I want to do in the future paintings I work on. So yeah, so I spent a good 2 weeks, 3 weeks working on this. Came out pretty nice. So now I have to give it to them. It's a painting for them, so I have to give it to them. And I'm working on another one right now. I'm going to talk about it for just a few seconds. I've been reading a lot of art history lately. Hey, another good book that you all may want to check out, if you're a painter anyway, it's called How to Read a Painting. It talks about art history, European art history, or European painting history, and it tells you the symbolism that's put into paintings and all kinds of stuff like that. And so I'm going to make my own. The painting is called The Adoration of the Magi, when the three wise men go to visit the baby Jesus. This is a very, very famous painting. There are hundreds of paintings like this. So I'm going to make my own version of it, my own modern version of it. And so I'm working on that right now. I'm working on that right now. This is the sketch for it. I got the foreground. Anyway, I'm just going to show you a really quick look at that because it's nowhere near done. So, anyway, you all should read that Foucault book.